Okay, hey everyone, welcome back to Day Love. Today we're going to discuss and just kind of give my review for Mortal Kombat, and this will include spoilers, just so you know. I'm pretty sure I put it in the title, I think. So, again, there are spoilers in this review. I just wanted to come on here and just discuss Mortal Kombat with you guys. And this video, again, this is live, but this video will be up after this live is finished. Now, I just want to jump straight into this review because I actually had a really fun time watching Mortal Kombat, and I love a lot of things about this movie, but it does have its flaws. And at first, I was going to organize this movie. By the way, I have notes, so if you see me like looking off to the side, that's what I'm looking at. But at first, I was going to organize this into pros and cons and like kind of, okay, I like this, or but I don't like this, good and bad. But when I was writing out my notes, I realized it's actually been a while since I organized something into what I loved, what I liked, and what I didn't like. And I feel like with Mortal Kombat, that organization works perfectly. So that's how we're going to go through this, review / discussion. But I'm actually going to start with what I didn't like. So we can start with the negative and then slowly go to the positive. So what I didn't like, what I liked, and then what I loved, and then the conclusion. So first, what I didn't like. I'm so sad to say I did not like Sonia Blade in this movie. And she is actually a character that I do like in the game. She is a character that I always underestimate. Maybe because she's just, the human character. But she, slowly over time, I started to really love Sonia Blade. But here, it just took her way too long to get involved, like, in the action because she didn't have the dragon symbol. And once she did get, into the action, I did not understand her powers at all of having like the rings and I just don't understand how all connected. I just feel like she was not utilized well at all. I hated that she couldn't, be like in the few fight scenes like Cole Young and Kano in the beginning. I didn't like that. And another thing I didn't like is, I'm so sorry to say because I love her character in the games, but I did not like Molina because in this movie, you guys, because I love Molina usually, both Molina and Katana. Katana is actually one of my favorites. But again, another situation where they did not utilize her character. She wasn't wearing her, her signature colors. She didn't have like her, iconic, like gruesome, mouth until like the very end. And she just like wasn't around. Like she would pop up in the movie and I'd be like, oh yeah, you're here, I forgot about you. It was a situation. And you should never forget about Molina. Like you should never forget about her. And the movie made me forget her, and that's not good. And another thing with Mortal Kombat that is in my didn't like category, they did not utilize Scorpion. Not enough Scorpion. When I was going out of the theater, again, spoilers for this whole review, but one of the big moments was really one of the only moments with Scorpion was when Scorpion shows up at the end when Cole Young is being, accosted by Sub-Zero and they have the iconic "get over here" line. That was really like the only big moment for Scorpion. He's really not in the movie. And I'm like, I needed more of Scorpion. And Sub-Zero, but Sub-Zero got a lot more time than Scorpion. But I needed more of them versus each other. It's like, and then if that's the only big moment that Scorpion has, and it's such an iconic thing, that's such great fan service as well, why did they give it away in the trailers? It was still a good moment watching the movie, but it would have been great if they didn't give that moment away in the trailers and just save that as a great moment in the movies, fresh when you see it. And I think I miss Scorpion even more because me personally, I just recently rewatched the animated movie Scorpion's Revenge. I think it's Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge. And I feel like this movie, did take a lot from the animated movie and of course like the games. But in that movie you see of like Scorpion going to hell and coming back and like wanting his revenge, obviously. But with this movie, they just like, he just shows up at the end. Okay, I returned from hell. Now I'm like, okay, why? Well, I just did not like how they did that. I needed way more Scorpion. And I didn't like that we didn't really get a true tournament because, the Outworld were, just killing the Earth Realm people. So we didn't really get that true tournament vibe here. And ultimately, with this movie, I just think it needed a bit more time and better writing. Like, I don't know what it is with Warner Brothers wanting all their movies to be like under 2 hours. Like, this is just under 2 hours. But even if it had like an extra 15, 20 minutes, I'm like, there's nothing wrong with having a movie a bit over 2 hours if it's executed well. Like, to me, like, most movies now are like a bit over 2 hours. I think it's completely fine if like the pacing is good, it's utilized well, the time is utilized well. I think it'll be fine. So I think this movie just needed a bit more time to flesh out these characters. And my last thing that I did not enjoy or didn't like really is that the main character, really, this new character, Ko Young, that we're being introduced to, he is so underwritten. Like, I mean, it's weird because this also goes into what I liked, but everything in my liked category could have been in the loved category if it was written better or given more time, because Cole Young was so underwritten and I didn't like that. But at the same time, I like Louis Tan playing Cole Young, but he was just so underwritten. I do like that they made Cole Young a family man. I don't know why. I mean, I didn't know that they were going to make it so that he has a family. And I think from the trailers, it just seemed like a typical cliche lone wolf, like, oh, what is this thing that I'm involved in, but I don't want to be involved in. So I actually kind of like that he had a family. That was nice. I liked his action and his fighting scenes. I liked it. And at first, I did like his transformation when he discovered, what do they call it in the movie? The Arcana? What do they call it in the movie? I forgot. But when you like discover your true power, I liked his transformation because and at first I liked his power, but I don't think they explained it really well, because at first it seemed like it was kind of where he would get hit and his suit would absorb the power and then block it back. But later on, that didn't happen. So I'm like, what is his powers? And by the way, what are the weapons he's using? I forgot to look up the name of the weapons, but I'm like, I just didn't fully understand his powers. But again, I like Louis Tan as Cole Young. I like him as the lead, but I just think he was underwritten. But honestly, it wasn't just Cole Young who was underwritten. I feel like most of these characters did not have much to work with. like Sub-Zero. He's in my like category because he gets more time than Scorpion does. But again, I needed more of him, and that's through no fault of Joe Taslim, because he is so amazing. Like, I love him so much. I'm such a big fan of him. I see him in the Raid. I see him in Warrior. He's an amazing fighter. He moves so fast. He scares me. He actually scares me every time, especially his scene with Sub-Zero with Jax. That entire scene is so funny because you always know what is going to happen with Jax if you know the Mortal Kombat lore, but it always is like so just like scary. Like, the way they utilized Sub-Zero here was, of course, intimidating, scary, like, okay, this is our true villain. But I wish there were just more of him, because I wish there was more of Sub-Zero versus Scorpion throughout the entire movie, honestly. But again, I really like Sub-Zero here, and I like how he utilizes his powers too. And another thing, Jax. I love Macabre Brooks as Jax, but just needed more. All these characters, I like them, but they're just so underwritten to me. It's like, I just wish this movie had more time to breathe. Like, I would love to see people's opinions of this movie who don't know the lore, and don't know these characters. Because I feel like with me, I know the games. I recently watched, I just said the animated movie, so I am kind of filling in the gaps. But I wonder what people think of this movie, that they don't know these characters. I just wonder what they think, and if they liked it, if they enjoyed it. I just want to know. Oh yeah, my last character who I really liked, and my last of what I liked category for this review is Ludi Lin as Liu Kang. Another character I really love in the games is Liu Kang. He's one of my favorites, like Liu Kang, Katana, Johnny Cage, even though he's not in this movie, but I'll discuss that in a moment. But Liu Kang is a particular favorite of mine. And I loved his interactions with others, especially Kano. And I think his powers were very well realized with Liu Kang. And that's what leads me into what I loved about this movie, is that the VFX team did such an amazing job. Like everyone's powers, like Sub-Zero, even Scorpion when he shows up at the end, Liu Kang's powers, they're just realized so well. And like even with the violence of each character and the fatalities, like that leads me to another thing. I love the stunt work, the action scenes, again the fatalities. Oh my gosh, like that was probably like the best part of this movie and what gets like the biggest reaction out of me. There's a lot of fan service, but to me it was like the perfect dose of fan service, like not too much but not too little. Like if you know the games, if you've even seen the animated movie, if you know the past movies, like you got something that you love from the past, a bit of nostalgia but not too much, and I appreciated that. And another thing that I really love about Mortal Kombat, me, I'm pretty sure most people love this, but I love Kano. I was not expecting to love Kano as much as I did. But in terms of charisma and humor, I think both Kano and Kung Lao stood out of all the cast. And that's another character who I loved. Kung Lao. He gets the best like a great entrance, the best fatality, and even like an awesome death, which is like all you can ask for in Mortal Kombat, I guess. But his fatality of like when he killed Natara, I think it was, and he made his hat into like the chainsaw or like the saw and just sawed her in half, and it was all the like frisbee hat work with Kung Lao was so awesome. Like I feel like again that was one of the things that got the biggest reaction out of me personally, like both Kano and Kung Lao. It was just fantastic. And finally, even though again I do have problems with what I didn't like with the writing of this movie and just how things were given time to breathe, at the end, when they did tease Johnny Cage, I was ecstatic. I love Johnny Cage. Again, not one of those characters that I would have thought I would have liked before I got into the games, but I just love Johnny Cage. And even when I was watching this movie, I was really missing him. I miss Johnny Cage throughout this movie. I'm like, where is he? I especially want to see him interact with Sonya. Like, come on. So the tease that Cole Young is going to Hollywood, and we saw like a cheesy like movie poster with I think it was named Citizen Cage, and all you see is this belt buckle. They didn't cast anyone for it. I thought it was all fantastic, and I would love to see Cole Young and Johnny Cage interact. And I want to see like whoever they would cast for Johnny Cage. I'm not sure who would fit in this group. I have to really think about that. But so personally, even though I had problems with this movie, I still really liked it. It's not perfect, obviously, like if, just from the things I didn't like, but I would love to see a sequel because I want to see these characters with these actors now that they know the world of Mortal Kombat and they know, they're not being introduced. Like this really like an intro movie for everyone. And honestly, I want to see a true tournament. I want to see Johnny Cage. I want to see a true tournament. I want to see true Mortal Kombat. And I want to see Johnny Cage. I want to see Johnny Cage so much. But so again, I am open to a sequel. Again, I really like this movie and I really like the characters, but I just wish that like some of these characters were just given more time to be more well realized, because again I really wonder what people who don't know these characters and don't know like the past history what they thought of this movie, because with me I know the history, so like I'm filling in the gaps in just my own brain, but it shouldn't always be that way with these like with fandoms. Like I feel like movies like this with fandom movies and things like that, they should be like anyone should be able to watch it. Like a fan should be able to watch it and have like the good fan moments, but anyone who hasn't been to the game should be able to get into it and not be like, oh, I did not understand what even just happened. But yeah, that is just my overall thoughts of Mortal Kombat. I really enjoyed this movie. It does have its flaws, but I'd probably like rewatch it. I like it. I like the cast. And again, the only characters who I did not like Sonia and Molina, were just because they were just so underused for me. And it was just so quick, honestly. Again, I just feel like if this movie was like 2 hours and like 20 minutes, it would have been totally fine with me. Totally fine. But yeah, what do you guys think of Mortal Kombat? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know. Just let me know what you think. Like this video, please, and subscribe to the channel for more. And I'll see you guys later.